Let's talk about laptops and laptop cases. And let me just start out by saying congratulations, because the only reason that you will have clicked on this video is because, just like me, you've decided to invest into getting yourself an Apple M1 MacBook Pro. This is the 14-inch, and if you're anything like me, this will probably be quite a massive investment for you. Something that you will hope to last for many years, and you would like to protect it. So the next thing you did was you went online, you went like best laptop case for M1 MacBook Pro, blah, blah, blah. And then you came to the conclusion that there's just tons and tons and tons of options, ranging in all kinds of price ranges, going from these very simple sleeves that you just slip it into, all the way up to these massive briefcases. Now, I'm not here to convince you to buy either of them. I'm just here to talk about the process that I went through, my specific use case, because just as with any piece of technology, the thing that's right for you depends on your use case. Now, let me just very quickly walk you through the type of person that I am and what I use laptops and laptop cases for. And then let me just tell you what my conclusions were in my user experience. So before getting this absolutely wonderful piece of technology here, I used to deal with laptops quite differently. I am, let's say, a teacher. So I teach in schools, I commute to schools, I need a portable computer, and I'm also a guide / landscape photographer. So oftentimes, parts of the year, especially summer, I'm living out of a van for weeks and weeks and at a time, just as I just did for 6 to 7 weeks just now, living out of a car, having very, very limited access to power outlets, technology, etc. So I need portable computers for those things. Now, in the past, when I had a little bit less money than I do now in my mid-30s, I needed to be very careful about my laptop buying choices. So what I would do is every, 3 to 4 years, I'd buy myself a new workhorse of a computer. So what I usually end up doing was I'd get myself a very powerful laptop, which would be one of these very honking, chunky 17-inch, absolutely massively heavy bricks, which would double as my portable computer when I needed it, and then also my, basic at-home workstation. So these massively heavy computers, I'd end up not carrying them. Surprise, I know you're not surprised. You probably think I'm an idiot, but this was mainly motivated by financial considerations relative to what I was using computers for. Now, this very massively heavy BTO computer came with this BTO briefcase, which you could basically fit your life into. It has so many pockets, so many options. This is literally a briefcase, which has more features than the average backpack. Sturdy, feature-rich, absolutely useless because I didn't use it. It's just too big. It's too cumbersome to carry. I would just end up jamming it full of stuff that's unnecessary. And after a while, it just stayed in the closet. It just stayed at home. I never used this thing to carry a laptop. Now, time progresses. I'm starting to realize that if I'm actually going to use my laptop as something that I carry around as a mobile solution, I'm going to need to scale down so I can actually be mobile without, burdening myself with very impractical things. Because living out of a van, putting a laptop in a backpack, because I'm maybe going to school, I may be cycling to school, etc. I need this to be compact. And then a piece of technology like this also makes sure that I don't want to carry too many peripherals. So in my use case, on the average day where I'm mobile with my computer, I'll just have like my power brick, a mouse, maybe a USB hub dongle thing, and that's it. That's the maximum amount of peripherals that I'll be taking. So if my laptop case is too big, I'm not going to be able to jam it into a backpack, so I need something rather compact, which leaves rather two options, which is the very basic sleeves, which for me is too minimal because they don't have any zips and pockets to put my brick and my mouse in and secure it in. So eventually, what I end up buying, what most people will end up buying, is the very classic laptop case. One main compartment, one storage compartment, zipper, that's it. Now, when choosing them, you'll see that there's a massive price difference between the many different options. This one right here, this blue neoprene one, is the one that I bought for myself. It cost me 23 euros. This one right here, full grain leather one, was sent to me by Sandmark. Sandmark's a company in San Diego, and they have started a new line with all full grain leather carrying solutions for your travel/photography products. Now, this is very premium. This retails at, as I said, just within the 20s of euros. This one retails at $200. Don't worry, I'm not going to try to sell you this expensive one. I am going to talk about, the differences that I have noticed between these two versions and how I feel about them. So you might decide for yourself whether or not your premium computer deserves a premium case, or if this very basic neoprene version is enough for you. Now, let's look at them in detail. There's a very basic neoprene one is sturdy enough, it'll last you long enough, and it opens up 3/4 of the way. So 3 of the 4 sides open up, which makes it easy to put your laptop in and out, but it also makes it easier for your laptop to accidentally slip out. And this is exactly what happened to my friend a couple of days ago, luckily not with my laptop, but she has a sleeve like this, and then in like not closing it all up too well, the laptop just slipped out from the side and made a hard landing on the floor. Very, very unfortunate. Now, on the contrary, this Sandmark one has a zip that only opens up on the top, and the opening is just wide enough for me to slip the laptop in and out very comfortably. Now, regardless of whether you're getting a more expensive one or more cheaper one, I found that I prefer this very limited opening. I'm just only putting my laptop in the main compartment. If you're starting to jam more stuff in the main compartment with your laptop, it's just going to get clunky chunky. It'll be scratching up the laptop. It'll be untidy. And I noticed that this smaller opening really, really has my preference. Now, the next thing that you might notice that you might want to look out for is the padding that actually protects your laptop. Now here, this is just thick neoprene. Now, in most cases, this is just more than enough. But the thing that I noticed in the finish with this more expensive Sandmark one is that the padding on the sides is thicker than this neoprene one, and it is lined with this microfiber. So it just fits so nicely, so snugly. It almost cleans my laptop as I slide it in and out, and it's just a much higher finish. It's just much nicer. Now, the other thing, the next one, is going to be the zipper. Now, I'm not convinced that this zipper is going to break on me. This is probably not going to break on me unless I just jam too much stuff in there, which is a lot more tempting if you're able to open it up way more. It's going to be more tempting for you to overload the zipper, which is less likely to happen with a smaller opening. And this zipper here is just not covered. It's not protected. So when I'm out there, when I'm doing landscape photography, this is maybe more likely to get infiltrated by dust and that kind of thing. This summer has been extremely hot, extremely dry, a lot of dust everywhere all the time. And then this Sandmark bag has a sealed zip. So when you close this up, just the attention to detail, the seal covers the zip completely. They claim it's weather resistance, and I tend to believe them because the seal is so incredibly tight and nicely finished that I find it very hard to believe that dust or moisture are going to penetrate it and contaminate the zipper, which is going to limit the lifespan. So even though these products seem very similar at first glance, just the finish and the way it just protects your product, level of protection, I would say is considerably higher on the more expensive product. Obviously, this all depends on how careful you are with your cases or not, but level of finish is already a big difference. Now, next thing you'll notice is that this one right here, this very cheap sleeve, does not have a carrying handle. Doesn't make a massive difference, if you're just trying to put it in and out of your backpack. Now this one right here does have a carrying handle, which is very, very subtle. It is almost flush with the bag, and then as you carry it, it leaves you just enough hand space to carry it comfortably. Now, this is just a very nice detail, and I found myself carrying it like this multiple times. Now, the next thing that all of these bags will have is this front pocket right here. Once again, this zipper is just really, really nicely hidden in there. It's just protected from contamination. And this front pocket is large enough for my brick, a couple of USB-C to C cables. But to be honest, I would say this is not actually quite large enough for me to comfortably fit a mouse in there. You can jam a mouse in there, but it's going to start to get bulky. So now for that, this is relatively small. Okay, so small details, small differences. Another thing that is worthy to consider is appearance. How will you appear with this product? How will this product make you feel? Because that's what having Apple products is about for a large part. Come on, let's not kid ourselves. This is the first Apple product that I bought, and what I noticed in myself and what I noticed in a lot of other people is it's a prestigious item. It's almost a piece of art. This thing, you know, it comes with the looks. Looks are a big part of it. When you're walking around with an Apple MacBook Pro, it's almost a fashion statement. For a lot of people, it is a fashion statement. It determines how you feel. It determines how other people perceive you. And just having a thing like this just makes you come across a lot different than having a thing like this. So when might that make a difference? For me, being a high school teacher slash outdoor photographer, not very much. I mean, I'm not going to impress my 15-year-old students by walking around with a full grade leather case. But where this might make a huge difference is if you're a freelance photographer, or maybe you're just another person doing any other kind of business and you're meeting clients, maybe for the first time with your laptop, it's going to make you come across very, very differently, whether you're walking around with this full grain leather, very stylish, very nicely finished case for your stylish and prestigious product versus having something that looks rather cheap, especially after some use, it's going to start to fray. So the way you come across is going to be quite different, substantially different. Now, for me personally, in my use case, I would never have bought this one. I was given this one. I'm actually quite happy that I was given this one because I started to appreciate more and more what kind of nice product this is. The finish, the attention to detail, the feel, the way it actually protects the laptop, and the way it makes the product look. If I maybe at some point intended to change to being a full-time freelance photographer or a part-time freelance photographer, and I'm going to be meeting clients for the first time, sitting down at the table with them, there is no doubt that I would 300% prefer to show up with this case, sliding my laptop out of this case versus this blue neoprene one. It's quite obvious. So 23 euros-ish, $200, massive difference. Are they going to last the lifetime of the product, which is like 4 to 5 times for a laptop for me? I think both of them would. Do they have enough storage, sufficient storage? Yes, both of them do. Is the price difference worth it? It's up to you. But I do want to say that to my big surprise, I would say that the finished product of this leather case has more stars, in my opinion, than the cheaper one. Cheaper ones will do. Premium cases for premium products are definitely worth considering.